I had something very interesting happen to me yesterday that I felt I wanted to share with you. You may, if you've been to my channel a number of times, you know that my mother died of cancer, my father died of cancer, and my daughter died of cancer. And I have a mission to, number one, help find a cure for cancer, and number two, to keep my daughter's memory alive. And I was meeting with one of the local hospitals who has a cancer treatment program, and I'm looking for a place to put the money that I raise from my channel by you pressing the join button down below and committing $4.99 a month to my efforts to, number one, help find a cure for cancer, and number two, keep my daughter's memory alive. And I was meeting with these people because they have a program that I can get involved in, and it's visual, that I can promote or give you insight as to what's happening in the industry for finding a cure for cancer. And so that's why I was there. And I spent about 45 minutes with them. And something happened in that meeting that I think you need to understand if you, like me, believe that biotech is part of our future and going to give us the ability to cure diseases. So that's what I want to talk about in this video, because I think it's going to open your eyes, as it did to me, as to where we are in this and what is going to happen in the future. So stay with me. Well, I've got to do some administrative work here, disclose that I'm not a financial advisor, and that you need to do the due diligence on your investment. So I'll be right back.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
Okay, if you haven't been with me before, I'm very strong, as I said, into finding a cure for cancer. I own 7 stocks that make up 20% of my portfolio that are in this space. They are Intella Therapeutics, Pacific Bioscience, Illumina, CRISPR, Edits, Invate, and Quantum Psi. They're all wrapped around the genome sequencing, protein sequencing, therapeutics that will bring the ability to take cancer out of our lives. It is part of my study that I first got involved in after I read Lifespan, which basically is David Sinclair's proposal that if we can eliminate these diseases, there's no reason we need to die. And then Cracking Creation, which is giving us a history of CRISPR. So the question I asked these folks after I was with them for about 30 minutes is, what do you think about CRISPR and how it's being used to find a cure for cancer? And they both looked at me puzzled and said, "What is CRISPR?" I was shocked. They didn't know. They didn't know. Now, granted, they're not doctors, they're not scientists, they're not lab technicians. They are in the business of raising money for a part of this hospital that works on curing cancer and does research into, or I should say, helping cure people from cancer, and working with a lab that is working to find a cure for cancer. So I went into a discussion of, as best I could, as to what CRISPR was, and they both got out a pad of paper at the same time, got a pen out, and wrote down and said, "What was the name of that again?" CRISPR. They didn't know. They didn't know, and they're in the industry. Now, not shame on them, but maybe shame on me for not recognizing that what I know and what I've shared with you is not known by most of the people in the world. They have no clue. And I guess I came home and I thought about that and I said, are we that far away that people don't really know what CRISPR is and what genome sequencing is? They didn't understand genome sequencing. And then when I threw out protein sequencing, they got even more puzzled. So what I thought was, do I have 20% of my portfolio too far out in front? Should I pull away from that and get involved in heavier into EV because maybe that's happening faster? And then I thought, well, what if in 1999, when I went to work for a company that put me in front of computers and told me you need to learn how to enter numbers and create financial plans for people. And I said, what is that all about? What if someone had said to me, what do you think about e-commerce in this company by the name of Amazon? I would have said, what? What is e-commerce? What does that mean? E-commerce. I understand commerce, brick and mortar stores, and we didn't even used to call them brick and mortar stores. We used to say shopping centers and downtown stores and things. Brick and mortar became something. Anyway, would I have had any knowledge of what e-commerce was? Probably not. I certainly didn't know. I knew what a cell phone was. It was a big box that you carried around. It was almost a small suitcase that gave you the ability to talk on a phone in remote areas, and not in remote areas, in cities. What if somebody had said to me, do you have any idea when are you going to get a cell phone? What is a cell phone? And I guess I realized that because of my interest, first of all, my interest in cancer because of my family history, and my interest in investments because of my work history and a passion for what I'm doing, I own some knowledge that I share with you, and I meet with you every day, and you understand it, but we are a very, very small part of the world. But wait a second. It's been all over the news. It's been in the Wall Street Journal. It's been on 60 Minutes. Yeah, but how many things do you go past in the Wall Street Journal? Again, you may not be the right people to be talking to, because you are one percenters. You're 1% of the population, or even less, who have an active interest in the stock market and pursue this sort of thing. The rest of the world doesn't know what we're talking about. CRISPR to them is that little oven that you put your bagel on and it runs through and it toasts it and comes out the other side, and you eat your toasted bagel with cream cheese or peanut butter. So, am I now cautious about the 20% of my portfolio that I have in these stocks? Does it disturb me that over the last, 2 months, they've lost some of their value because the interest of the market has gone away from technology? Do I believe that it will stay away from technology because the interest rates may be going up and inflation may come in? Do I believe that because of inflation and increasing interest rates that the scientists of this world are going to say, stop? We don't need to cure cancer. This is all immaterial now because of inflation. Do I believe that? No, I don't. Do I think that inflation and interest rates could have stopped Amazon? No, I don't. Do I believe that interest rates and a fleet to safety could have stopped Apple from becoming the second most sold phone in the world? No, I don't. Do I believe that this disruption in the market right now, today, is going to change the direction of the world, and that lifespan is something we'll look at and say, well, that was an interesting idea, but we had other priorities and we moved on? Do I believe that's going to happen? No, I don't. And I think Judy wrote me the other day and said, Carrie, I think I'm doing something wrong. And I wrote her back and said, wrong about what? And I think Judy's having the same doubts that I laid in bed last night about and said, am I okay in Intella and Pacific Bioscience and Illumina and CRISPR and Edits Medicine and Invade and in Quantum Sci? Am I okay there? Is this going to pay off? Or is this just going to be one of those stupid things you did? There's that unwanted roommate. No. I'm just lucky that I have taken the time to read, to understand, to gain a vision into the future, and that still a big percent of the people who are involved in the stock market don't even get it, and the rest of the world doesn't have a clue. So, I'm going to stay with my investments. I'm going to hold my ground because I know what's going to happen before it's going to happen. I know what e-commerce is all about in 1998. I know what a cell phone is and what a mobile phone is. And I know about this little computer that I can walk around with in my hand that had more computing power than the first rocket we sent to the moon. I know before the rest of the world, or at least 99.9% of the world, knows what's going to happen. So, go sleep better tonight. Okay. I had to share that with you because I think it's valuable. I think it's really difficult when you set out a plan and it isn't going the way you kind of thought it would. But trust me, we're on the right path. If you want to see more about this, subscribe, ring the bell, because quite honestly, and I'm going to say this quite truthfully, this roughly $170,000 that I've got invested in this segment of the market, that's going to turn into easily a 10x. That's easily going to turn into, what is that? Put another zero behind it. I think it's almost $2 million. And it'll go beyond that. I mean, in 1999, I think Amazon was somewhere around $15, and it's now $3,000. Do the math. That's where this is going. And yeah, I may not live to see it, but that's where it's going. So I'm going to hold strong. I suggest you hold strong. Again, if you want to be part of our tribe, go to bestofusinvestors.com. You know the drill. See you tomorrow.